Hi, thanks for joining me today. Together, we're going to look at one of the most common questions people ask me when they get started composting, which is what kind of composter do I need? There's a whole range out there, different sizes, different shapes, different prices too. So, hopefully, in this session, we'll narrow down what exactly you need so that when you look online, you don't spend as much time as I did trying to figure out what was out there. So, without further ado, let's do a quick chat about some basic principles. So, two things that you need to know about composting is one, you're going to need a composter that helps you mix everything, just like cooking. And you're going to need some air because when you turn things over, you get oxygen in the mix, which allows the chemical reactions to happen that break all your food down into amazing compost. So, the simplest model you can get kind of is basically a box. What happens is you pop all the compost in, and then when you're ready, a couple times a week, you've got to mix it up. Now, I chose not to go with that model. One, because I am lazy and I don't really want to have to turn everything really well. And second is I'm a bit squeamish. I don't want to look at food. So I opted for a closed model where I don't really have to look at what's going on in my composter. If you opt for a closed model, the additional benefit is you probably won't need to work as hard. So when we look at closed models, there are basically two kinds. One is upright and it turns this way, and the other one turns this way. So I would recommend against vertical turning composters. One, because you've got to push them and they're heavy, especially as your compost compresses. It gets heavier and heavier, which is amazing for the compost, but more work for you. On the market, you get lots of turning ones that are great. You just give them a shove. I can manage it, and my husband can manage it, and my 5-year-old can manage it too. So I'd recommend one of those. And with the ones that turn, you can get ones that turn on the ground. So you kick it, or you get ones which are a bit raised, and you turn it in the air either with a pushing motion, or if you're lucky, you'll even get a handle. Two other things to keep in mind is you definitely don't want to go for the cheapest option ever. You want to check reviews to make sure they don't break. A lot of times composters don't come with spare parts, so you don't want to spend $100 buying something and one bit breaks and you've got to get a new one. The second is you want to make sure that it's made of durable material, especially if you're going to put it outside in the sun and the rain. You don't want it to start melting. And yes, some of them do melt because the materials are super flimsy. So with that in mind, we'll go and look at the model I have, and I'll also post some helpful links below this video so you can look at a couple models that I would suggest. So I'll see you at the composter. This is my amazing composter. Three things to note about it are one, it's dual chamber, so it has two openings, and when you are done composting on one side, you can close it, let it rest, and continue composting on the other side, which is amazing and really handy. The other cool thing about it is it's full of little air holes to let the oxygen in to get that composting process going. And third, it is super durable, so it is doing just fine in the wind and the rain and the crazy weather we get here in Hong Kong. So this has my recommendation. I will post a link to it at the bottom of the screen. There are lots of other models out there, so feel free to go with whatever makes your heart happy. I don't get any financial benefits from this, no commissions, just wanted to let you know what's working for my family. So thanks for joining me. See you next time.